So to live authentically, you have to be audacious. And when you do, your life begins to change. Your life becomes yours. Your mood becomes yours. Your energy becomes yours. Your direction becomes yours. You stop living a borrowed life and start living a sovereign one. Most people think they're being authentic. I used to, but they're actually living a version of themselves that was programmed. See, the real question is, are you living your truth or just a version of yourself that's been accepted? Living authentically means living audaciously. And that's one of the hardest things you will ever do in your life because of the pressure from family, from friends, from society, from a world that has already decided who you should be. When you live authentically, you have to understand you are going to turn people off. You're going to piss people off. People won't always accept you. They won't always understand you. They won't always agree with you. And that's where most people fail and why they stop. Living authentically means you are living in your truth, but still understanding it's only your truth. Not everyone has to accept it. Not everyone will. So authenticity is not about escaping the system. It's about you not losing yourself inside of it. Let's say you're at a job and your boss speaks to you in a way that disrespects you. It minimizes you. It affects how you perform ultimately. Now you're in conflict. If you react emotionally, well, you might lose your job. If you say nothing, you lose yourself. So what is authenticity in that moment? Authenticity is awareness. It's recognizing the situation I'm in. It's not aligned with who I am. But instead of reacting impulsively, you respond intentionally. You communicate. You set boundaries. You adjust your approach. Maybe that means silence while you take time to figure it out. You might say, I'm aware that I'm out of alignment and I'm not being authentic. You might say to your boss, if you want the best out of me, this is how I need you to communicate with me. At the same time, you also start building your exit. You apply for other opportunities. You create a plan, maybe a 30-day plan to transition out. And then you trust the process. You trust that even if things don't line up immediately, you are moving in your best interest. That is what living authentically means. It does not mean living recklessly. It does not mean acting on every emotion. It does not mean putting yourself in a worse situation just to prove a point. It means living with clarity. It means breaking patterns that don't belong to you. It means refusing to let the world assign you an identity that was never yours to begin with. And that's why it requires audacity, because audacity is the willingness to live in your truth without fear. And we live in a world full of fear, based on fear. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of judgment, fear of being alone. So to live authentically, you have to be audacious. And when you do, your life begins to change. Your life becomes yours. Your mood becomes yours. Your energy becomes yours. Your direction becomes yours. You stop living a borrowed life and start living a sovereign one. And when you become aligned, you start to attract differently. Different people, different opportunities, different experiences, more synchronicities, more clarity, more truth. Because now you're no longer pretending. And when you stop pretending, you stop building false relationships. You stop creating connections that collapse under pressure. You stop living a life that was never truly yours. And that is what it means to live audaciously. That is what it means to live authentically. This is my truth, and I'm aware of it. I am aware of what does not serve me. I am aware of what I need to do to keep myself operating in the truest, highest, best version of me. And I'm going to release things, ideas, patterns, emotions, beliefs, people. That does not mean that things are just going to always flow and seem happily and joyful and everything just moves in the way you want it to move. No, it just means that you are navigating life's circumstances in the highest, truest form of yourself. So the outcome that you get will always be the best outcomes for you and for your life experience and your soul's journey on the path in which is going to expedite your progression and your expansion. When you stop living authentically, you basically go from expansion into contraction. The more authentically you live in your guidance of your true self and your soul's purpose, and you take your soul's journey without blocking it, right? Blocking it how? With emotions and thought patterns and habits and beliefs, making decisions that are based on old habits and fears. And when you contract, that's what's happening. When you expand, you're moving in the direction, a lot of times, you're moving in the direction of fear. You see, when the soul is moving you, a lot of times into uncertainty, because the soul is constantly evolving. That just means leaving thought patterns. That means leaving habits. That means leaving friend groups that don't serve you anymore. That means changing your ideas and your ideals, looking at and dissecting your belief systems. So you're constantly growing, not necessarily externally, but internally, constantly shifting, consistently growing. That's what your soul is always craving. It's not stagnation, it's movement. Which is why when you live authentically, you have to understand that the way people on the outside will view you will be not necessarily that you are living audaciously. They will look at you from the outside and go, this is a person who's living crazy. This is a person who doesn't seemingly know what they're doing. They're never settled. It may look crazy to someone on the outside, but you're going to be expanding in your knowledge and your material wealth and your health and your progression in the areas in which you are dreaming about things and actually having success with that. And many times as that expansion happens, you have to go, peace, nice to know ya, to a lot of people, because they know that old version of you. They know the version of you that was in box 1, but now you're about to leap into box 5. And that process keeps happening. The people on box 5, connect with you, but then you're ready to grow and not get stuck in box 5. And suddenly now you're in box 20. And those people in box 5, they knew you back then. And a lot of times we get stopped in the process of this expansion because we get caught up in the relationships or the ideas of who we are in those boxes. And there's no right or wrong to that. You're here to experience your life. So it's up to you. Within the BreakFreeWin philosophy, the idea is to never stop expanding, to use every emotion, to use every circumstance, to use every experience that we feel, no matter how we perceive it, good, bad, or ugly, use that as rocket fuel to create an opportunity for us to catapult into a next box, into a new level, onto new experiences, onto expansion. That's the purpose behind letting your soul lead and behind breaking free from the programming on this planet, which is to keep you small and contracted. That's the purpose behind BreakFreeWin philosophy. You break free from contraction and win in your life, which means you are expanding consistently. I encourage you to think to yourself, what areas in your life are you contracting? What areas in your life are you expanding? What areas in your life would you like to expand more? Who are the people and what are the things in your life that are keeping you contracted? Write it down. Become clear. Make a plan of what you need to do to be audacious and live the authentic version of you.